When people talk about classic transforming robot teams, GoBots usually gets left out of the conversation. But the franchise had one really cool idea, and one of the most interesting was Puzzlers, the 6-in-1 Renegade Combiner. Puzzler wasn't just another team of robots that joined together into a giant warrior. He was part of GoBot history, part of the rivalry between the Guardians and the Renegades, and one of the most unique combiners of the 1980s. In this video, we're looking at the history of Puzzler and how the combiner worked and the story behind each of the 6 individual GoBots that formed him. Alright, so what is Puzzler? Puzzler is a renegade combiner from the GoBots universe. He is formed from 6 separate GoBots who combine into one larger robot, making him one of the franchise's most memorable team-based weapons. The idea behind Puzzler was simple but effective. Instead of one robot transforming into one vehicle, 6 smaller machines could unite into a single giant war machine that gave the GoBots the line of combat and big style that helped them go down the toy aisle. Puzzler was created as a response to the Guardians Combiner and the power suits, giving the Renegades a massive group weapon of their own. In that sense, Puzzler is more than just a combiner. He's a symbol of the GoBots arms race, really. One of the coolest things that's about Puzzler, unlike some combiner toys, he didn't rely on extra parts from his combining mode. This made him feel more elegant, toy-friendly, and was, I think it's the grail for all GoBots. Having a complete Puzzler as a toy is what you want for your GoBot collection. And getting all 6 of them in mint condition and to get them combining and to get that robot to stand is hard. In GoBots lore, Puzzler is the kind of project the Renegades would absolutely love. Big, intimidating, and built for battlefield dominance. The concept fits Psykill perfectly. He's the kind of leader who would see a 6 robot super team that is 60 foot tall maybe, and immediate, we need that to go against everything. Puzzler becomes a perfect example of the Renegade's obsession with power, control, and overwhelming force. So what makes Puzzler especially fun is that the idea that it has a lot of personality in the 6 robots. It's not just a random combiner a la Destructicons, Combaticons, or Devastator. Each member has its own name, mode, and special trait, which gives a team more memorable identity than a lot of the giant robot mashup. So let's take a look at the 6 members of this team. First one up we're going to take a look is Tic Tac, one of the most important members of the team because he represents intelligence and strategy. His name sounds light and playful, but the character behind it is anything but. Tic Tac is usually associated with the brainy one. He's the kind of bot that helps make the team think through the problems before charging in. In combiner teams, having a smart member is always important, and Tic Tac fills that role nicely. In the combiner form, that intelligent helps Puzzler feel more coordinated and controlled instead of just being the brute force. And if I remember this correctly, that is the hardest to find in a good shape. Now, looking at the cartoons of these, you would think these are Wendy's or McDonald's toys, but they're legit. They're in it. Coming up, Pocket, brings a more compact, practical personality to the team. The name suggests something small and contained and fits the GoBot style perfectly. Pocket gives his team a sense of utility and versatility, like a bot designed for quick action and precision rather than the sheer size. As part of Puzzler, Pocket contributes to the idea that the combine farm is built from specialized pieces. Crossword is one of the more distinctive names in the group, and it adds a clever puzzle-themed flavor to the team. The name fits the overall concept of Puzzler really well because the whole combiner feels like a giant mechanical puzzle, and putting it together feels like a puzzle. Crossword suggests intelligence, structure, and problem solving, all which help reinforce the team's identity. In this lineup, he helps make feel genetic and more real to the whole problem, which is a really cool thing. Jigsaw, another name that fits the puzzle perfectly well. Like others, Jigsaw is part of a team built around the idea of pieces coming together, like a whole lot of little things makes it, which is good. Jigsaw helps sell the idea of puzzler whenever every part matters, which is exactly what you want for this. It's a very nice thing, and kind of the cop car fits in with it, if you will. Rube, coming up next, is one of the more memorable members simply because the name is unusual and a little rougher than the others. Rube, I hate the name. He gives the team a more grounded, rugged feel. Rube feels like the kind of bot who might bring brute force and stubborn determination to the combination, balancing out the more clever or precise members. In the lore, Rube also helps show that these aren't just empty parts of bigger robots. They're characters with their own quirks. And talking about the quirks in these, this is a side note as all get out. But it is awesome that all of these are like different molds, different characters, and they didn't just make dummy characters because GoBots was pretty good at that. All right, I digress. Finally, Zigzag. Zigzag is the kind of member you immediately imagine as agile, speedy, and hard to pin down. That makes him a great final piece of the combiner because a team needs motion and momentum as much as power. As part of Puzzler, Zigzag adds the sense that whole combiner is built for sudden attack and chaotic battlefield movements. You know what? Puzzler stands out for a pretty good reason. And it's because of these 6 who have individual bodies that transform. Again, the Guardians have a power suit kind of combiner that goes at it. So good for Puzzler and good for all of that, just coming real out and about. Puzzler is awesome and stands up to any Transformers. You can change my mind in the comments. Puzzler to me stands out because he's one of the most complete combiner concepts in GoBot history, and in all of robot history, if you ask me. He had a strong theme, a memorable identity, and a purpose in the story beyond just being a giant robot. He represented the Renegade's answer to the Guardians' combiners and made him feel important in the ongoing rivalry. He's also got that kind of retro charm that really works today. You look at it as a toy on a shelf or at a convention or anything like that, and you're like, those are kind of the awesome 80s cars. And when you see them combined as a combiner, you're like, that is total 80s. So Puzzler may not be famous as some of the giant combiners from other robot franchises, but he's one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting, that's ever been created. He's a 6-figured renegade combiner with a great concept and a fun dynamic and a place in the franchise that still remains. From TikTok to Zigzag, every member adds something to the final combined form. Leave me a comment down below if you have Zigzag or any of the other ones. Till later. Peace out.